Hello and welcome to the CUFI Weekly. We hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. We did, and we're back. So it is Hanukkah this week. We took a moment to speak to CUFI Co-Executive Director Shari Dollinger about Hanukkah, what it means, what it is, and why it's relevant today. So we really hope you enjoy this really insightful discussion that we had.
We're going to talk about Hanukkah from a historical, a spiritual, and a ritual perspective. So Hanukkah is really celebrating a couple of different miracles. The first miracle is the few against the many, that a band of rebels, Judah and the Maccabees, they fought against the giant Greek army, and not only did they win and prevail, they got the temple back to the Jewish people. So when Judah and his brothers and band of rebels got back to the temple, it was desecrated, it was destroyed. And there was only one kosher vial of oil left. So they thought they would only have enough kosher oil to burn for one day. And instead, as you know, and this is why we celebrate Hanukkah for 8 nights, this oil burnt for 8 nights. This was the miracle of light. This was God saying to the Jewish people, you won a historic military battle, but you also won a spiritual battle over those that were trying to de-Judaize Jerusalem, that were trying to get you to not embrace your Jewish culture and tradition and ritual and laws. And it was a kiss from God saying, no, this oil that was only going to last for one day, should have only lasted for one day, lasts for 8 nights. So ritually, on Hanukkah, we have the menorah, and we add light every single night of Hanukkah. We light with the shamash, which is traditionally in the middle of the menorah. Sometimes it's on either side. And we add a light every night. And we place the menorah in our windows so that we can light up the world with the light of Hanukkah, with the spiritual blessings of Hanukkah. Another symbol of Hanukkah is the dreidel, and we think of it as a child's game, but it has an exceptionally strong message. So it's Nes Gadol Haya Sham, a great miracle happened there. So if you buy a dreidel in Israel, it actually says Nes Gadol Haya Po, a great miracle happened here. And what is beautiful in this symbolism is that when our children are playing a game and spinning a top and collecting coins from each other, they're really conveying a message that is thousands and thousands of years old, that we are a people of light and of blessing and of miracles, and that we commemorate our past by incorporating it into our present and sharing it with our future. And therefore, when our children are playing, they're memorializing the miracle of the victory of the Maccabees, and they're also memorializing the victory of the oil. Speaking of oil, we tend to eat very fatty food on Hanukkah, so we fry potatoes called latkes. We eat donuts. It's basically as much oil as you can consume is mandated and appreciated and expected. And we also give presents, and this is actually a newer tradition. Typically, children would get presents on Purim. They're called shlachmaniot, but through the centuries, as we've acculturated into different societies, Jewish children now get gifts on Hanukkah because a lot of their friends, get gifts on Christmas. Hanukkah is symbolic as my role as co-executive director of Christians United for Israel. Christians United for Israel is focused singularly on supporting the state of Israel and combating anti-Semitism. And while there is so much darkness in the world, we have a responsibility to show the light that Israel is. We have a responsibility to tell the stories about Israelis making the world a better place, be it through medical breakthroughs, being Israel's first responders to humanitarian crises throughout the world. And Hanukkah is a tangible reminder that we bring forth the light, that we look for the good, and everywhere there are miracles.
Thank you for tuning in this week. Really hope that you were blessed by that discussion about Hanukkah. I know that I definitely learned quite a few things I didn't know before. So until next week, this is Kasim Hafiz for the CUFI Weekly. For Zion's sake, do not remain silent. Thanks for checking out today's episode of CUFI Weekly. If you enjoyed this episode and want to stay up to date with the latest news from the Middle East along with topics involving US-Israel relations, please be sure to like and subscribe. And remember to click that notification button so that you are notified every time a new show is uploaded.